So, hello everyone, and welcome to Women in Business. I'm your host, Germimah Clarke, and the CEO of A&M Career Consulting, a nonprofit organization where we assist you in boosting your chances of landing that dream job by resume writing, virtual face-to-face interviewing, networking with recruiters, and so much more. Visit us at amcareerconsulting.org. Now, today in our podcast, we have a very special guest. She is Akeya, a professional cosmetologist, hair designer, and stylist for over 4 years. She is based in NYC, New York City, and has worked with well known celebrities. Her services include haircuts, hairstyling, hair coloring, wig unit installation, hair design, and so much more. She's currently furthering her education in trichology, which is the study of diseases or problems related to the hair and the scalp. So, without any further ado, here is my phenomenal guest, Akeya. Welcome to Women in Business.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Akeya Smith, and I'm a cosmetologist of 4 years. Well, a licensed cosmetologist for 4 years. I've been doing hair for about 12. I specialize in making customized units. I do coloring and cutting, and I'm actually furthering my education as a trichologist at this point.
Great. So, for those who are not aware or know what is trichology, could you explain to the audience for me what it is, what it entails, and who are going to be affected by that?
Okay, so as a trichologist, we specialize in the hair and the scalp. So not so much of the dynamics of the hair, how it appears to be, the dynamics and the science of the scalp. So we do a little internal studies, more of finding out how you are balancing and taking care of yourself internally and seeing why you're having these outbreaks and hair loss. And we're trying to find ways to treat it. But it's not an individual process. We have to do it together as a team. So as you share information with me on things that you have been experienced as far as maybe hair loss, balding, um, shedding, things of that nature, changing your diet, um, like if you've been gaining weight or losing weight rapidly, a lot of those things help us in finding the direction to assist you in finding treating your hair
Oh,
and your scalp.
um, for this type of studies, what are some of the hair scalp diseases that people that you have come across in your experiences? Like,
So
can you give us a few? Can you mention a few for us and explain what each one is exactly?
So I've dealt with people that have alopecia areata, which is a skin conditions that's caused by the immune system breaking down. So you'll start losing your hair in patches and oval shaped things where they connect, and it becomes like large bald spots. I've also dealt with totalis of alopecia, where your hair has come out completely. I've also dealt with people that have PCOS and they're dealing with hormonal imbalances and they're losing their hair and they're gaining weight and getting adult acne and they're going through mood swings and things of that nature because they're seeing these rapid changes in their bodies. So what we do is we'll start going off your blood type. So we'll test you for your blood type so you
Right.
can have a blood type diet, and then you'll start following your blood type diet to balance your hormones.
Okay.
So once you balance your hormones, then you'll keep track of your pH to make sure your pH balance is on point. So that way it's no longer walking with acidic blood. At this point, it's
Right.
alkaline.
Okay. So you give them like an alkaline-based diet for them to follow.
Yes.
Right. And what is the normal pH level that someone has to have to be able to maintain their hair follicles and a healthy hair?
6.5.
Right. Okay. All right. And does this affect only women or both men and women? Is it universal?
It's universal between men and women. It's
Okay.
universal between men and women. It's more common in women, though.
Okay. Oh, doesn't matter what race it affects. It could be any race.
No,
Okay.
well, as African Americans, well, I'm an African American, and we deal a lot with PCOS. We deal a lot with fibroids. And all of these things kind of connect somewhere down the line,
I
and
see.
we don't know how to balance them off. And again, it starts with our diets. So once you kind of detox yourself, and when I say detox, I kind of take care of yourself and get a balance, you can kind of navigate your way through the rest of the normalities that the abnormalities that you're facing. Excuse me.
Oh, I see. So it's more prevalent in women of color, African American women. So you're saying that, can you give us like the five main signs and symptoms that women, African American women, can look at? So, if we see the signs and symptoms, we can actually nip it in the bud or prevent it
And
or.
so we'll start seeing our hair thinning at a rapid pace. We usually lose like 50 to 150 strands of hair a day. But now you're starting to see it come out. But as it's coming out, you're seeing bald patches.
Wow.
Right. So from there, you might see weight gain. You might see excessive weight gain. A lot of times we hold the weight in our midsection. So we're trying to figure out, how did this happen? I'm not eating bad. I'm not doing this. And it's our endocrine system that's acting up. So then we have another thing that we can identify as is when we're groggy all the time, like we are going through mood swings, dryness of the scalp, excessive dryness of the scalp, and other things like I said baldness, breakage.
Breakage. Okay.
Yeah, breakage. And and a lot of times it's not always just your hair, it's your skin too.
Oh,
Your skin as well. You start noticing things with your skin. You start looking a little faint sometimes. You might seem a little ashy, or sometimes you could be oily.
or ashy. Wow, that is interesting. Were there any clients that you think was too severe to treat? Have you turned away any clients before and refer them to like a dermatologist or a specialist?
Yes. So a lot of times I would identify things like the excessive hair loss, rapid weight gain, or the adult acne coming on really fast, more so along your jawline, which is your hormonal area. So when you start seeing these things, or excessive hair on the face, sometimes you get the beard or whatever the case is. So the excessive hair on the face, sometimes that's signs of things. So I would recommend them to go see the the endocrine doctor, or to go see the dermatologist, because I can't diagnose you with that thing because I'm not a doctor, but I
Okay.
can assist in treatment.
Okay. And what if it's not severe, but it's like approaching? Is there like a topical um, emollient or cream or over-the-counter pills or medication that people can take, or they just have to, let's say, they just don't want to see the doctor because they're probably in denial of some sort.
Because of allergies,
Mhm.
I don't recommend.
Okay.
I don't recommend any topicals. I would recommend you to see a doctor.
Okay. I
I
see.
would recommend you to see a doctor. I would also recommend for you to detox, So if they don't know their blood type, I can give them their blood type. I'll do the testing for them to get their blood type instantly.
Oh, that is
So
fantastic.
that way they can start getting a move on it. I also would recommend them to get a blood type testing book or an app in their phone so they know in what direction they're headed, because everybody does not like to see the doctor. I will also tell them to if you don't like regular physicians, see a holistic doctor.
Okay. Holistic approach is one of the many ways a lot of people are going, doing right now. Uh,
Yes.
and, blood types. In what blood type do you see most prevalent in? Is it A, B, O positive, O negative, A, you know?
I come across a lot of B's. I
Oh,
come across a lot of B's and a lot of O's.
really? Wow.
I come across a lot of O's and a lot of B's. It's very rare that I see A, B, and some ever so often I might see an A. So throughout my week, I might see one A and seven O's. And I always thought that was kind of strange. But, again, when we go to our regular physicians, they just don't give us this information.
Mm.
They don't give it to us. It's something that you have to request. It's not on your regular medical records unless it's the hospital that you was born in, from my understanding. So I know, like, I had to get mines done because it wasn't on my medical records, and my primary doctor never asked me that question.
I wonder why. That's really, bizarre because for medications, and if you're going to have surgeries and so forth, or even if you're pregnant, you at least you're supposed to know the blood type that you have in order to facilitate the medication to see if it's working, what's
Mhm.
not working, going to be allergic or not.
So what happens to the person that doesn't have children or has never had surgery? It's just not a prevalent question.
Yeah, yeah. I think everyone should know their blood type and, insist on getting that done. I mean,
Hmm.
need to know what foods and medication you can take, what not to take, which will increase your blood palettes and.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so for those who don't know what a cosmetology on this going at a different direction, what does a cosmetologist does? And you can mention all the services that you offer.
Okay, so as a cosmetologist, I also specialize in the hair and the scalp.
Okay.
And I also do hair designing at this point. So I do coloring, I do cutting, I do natural hair, I do locks, I do braids, preferably knotless braids, and I also do silk presses. So this is just my schedule throughout the week. But again, ponytails, everything. But I try to stay away from anything that's going to cause any tension to your hair. So before any services are done, we have to do a consultation because I don't want to apply anything to your hair that can cause damage.
Now the consultation's free.
Yes, for the first time visitors.
First time visitors, great. And you mentioned something that I'm very interested in. It's silk press. What is that exactly? I saw a lot of videos on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm not too sure how they get their hair that straight with a plastic, saran wrap. Can you
Yeah,
explain?
so it's basically so you treat the hair prior, you condition the hair, moisturize the hair and everything prior to pressing. To where, back in the days we used to do hot comb pressing, excessive heat. We don't know the temperature of that heat coming from that fire. At
Hmm,
least we can navigate with the heat with the flat iron.
right.
And we use ceramic tools or titanium tools to prevent the hair from any damage.
Okay. All right. Great. So it's just the flat iron and the dry hair. Is there any type of how should I put it? Like any type of creams or mousse or anything to get it the straight look?
Well, some people use serums.
Oh,
Some people use serums to press the hair and protect the hair. Me personally, I use heat protectant.
okay.
But other people I do see use oil based serums. I prefer to stay away from oil based serums because with heat and grease, there's fire, and I
Yes.
don't want to burn the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great alternative for those who wants to stay away from getting their hair chemically permed and relaxed. Stay away from the relaxers because I think the relaxers. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes I think the relaxers can encourage scalp damage and burns and ulcers and sores in hair. Is that any? Is there any?
And it goes a little deeper than that. Because we're dealing with the scalp and all our glands, those
Right.
chemicals go other places and saturate in other glands, causing other issues that we really aren't comfortable with speaking with about sometimes. So from studies, I've seen that, reproductive issues come from perms, fibroids come from perms. And these are things that are starting to come up to the surface now that weren't previously spoken about. So I don't recommend chemicals.
Wow. Oh, that is just bizarre. Had no idea. Thank you for that information. Oh my goodness. So, so for those who want to get out of the hair relaxing process and want to go all natural, you recommend that they do the silk press or cut their ends off or do treatments every week.
For someone that's transitioning,
Yeah.
depending on the state of their hair.
Okay.
So a lot of times the hair does have to be pressed out to see where we're going to start to cut it off because a lot of the ends are dead, you know. So, and it is a lot of chemicals, a lot of color. So it's how in depth the person wants to go to do this big chop. And if they're ready for that, you have to remember it's a life-changing situation. I'm used to being straight. I'm not ready to go curly, you know. I'm not ready to be into my kinky phase. And these is things that we have to be open with. A lot of things, a lot of times, you know, we go into this phase, we go a little too deep.
Mhm.
Sometimes you should gradually transition
I see.
because if you're not ready for it, you'll get your hair to its lowest point, and then you'll have no choice but to add product to it, a chemical product, because at this point it can't straighten. You can't put heat to something so low, you
Yeah.
know? So you have to really think that one through when you're going into transition.
Yeah, I guess people have to really do a consultation before they just sit in your chair and say, chop everything off.
Yes.
Okay, so how many clients do you have during the day? Are you like, is there, I know this, we're dealing with the pandemic right now, so do you have an influx of clients? Are clients still booking, or is there a slowdown due to the pandemic?
Due to COVID, things have been really, really slow for me. But again, I've been very precautious about it.
Right.
So at this point, I take on a roughly about a month, maybe 2 to 3 new clients gradually.
Hmm.
I deal with maybe 30% of my previous, like my regular clients, because if it's someone that they're not consistent, I'm not going to accept you just because it's emergency in your eyes, just because of the pandemic for my own precaution. So my percentage has really lowered at this point. So I'm working at 30% at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, this is all great. Great news. Great information. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Akeya. I'm just gonna ask the audience if they have any questions. Do you mind answering any questions?
No, that's fine.
So, audience, let me know. Um, do you have any questions? Let me know. Raise your hand. Type it in the chat. Let me know. Feel free. You can unmute yourself. Any type of questions. No questions? Yolanda, Gabby. Oh,
Good
um,
night. I was about to start speaking, but I could not get the phone off mute. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
It was a pleasure listening to you. I actually transitioned. I had so many different styles. I had dreads, I had a perm. So right now I'm between phases.
Uh-huh.
I've been natural for maybe 15 years,
Hmm.
but my hair grow and then I cut it. And then I go through this phase where I need to grow it again. However, my biggest problem is that I have excessive, I don't think it's dandruff now. It's just excessive. It looks like dandruff, but it's really matted dirt. Sometimes it feels like only in the front of my hair, to the point
Okay.
that sometimes it seems as it's growing into my forehead of itself, but only in the, I should say, right in the middle of my head. It
Oh,
doesn't itch. So, I'm doing my own research and I saw they said I can use Listerine on it. And then somebody else said you can use apple cider vinegar. But I don't use as much grease or oils. So I really want to know when I do wash my hair, because I tend to wash it, once a week. When I do wash it, how can I avoid that? Is that something that I need treatment for? Because it's only the front, as I'm saying. So I tend to have to wash my hair a lot more. So I don't have that, white growing into my skin.
uh-huh. So it sounds to me like it's seborrheic dermatitis, which is excessive dandruff. Um,
Okay.
it's in that area, but I would say go to your I would say see a dermatologist. I would recommend you to see a dermatologist sometimes because it could spread. I would not do apple cider vinegar or Listerine. Those are both antiseptics, and apple cider vinegar is also used as disinfectant, and it can cause you to have fungus, causes all types of bacteria to grow. So I would get it checked out because you don't know if you're living with a fungus that needs to be killed with a topical, or sometimes you might need a antibiotic. But again, that would have to be given to you from a doctor.
Hey, thank you so much, Yolanda, for that question. Very, very informative and educational. Thank you, Akia. Gabby is asking in the chat, where are you located?
I'm located in Brooklyn.
Okay. And for those who would like to get in contact with IKEA, can you tell them your email address so they can send you an email if they want to book an appointment or see you or have a chat further with you? Can you give them your email address?
Yes, my email is honey, HONEY, Inc., INC, period, 828 at gmail.com.
Great. Tanya, Marcus, do you have any questions at all?
I'm good. I'm okay. I actually, my hair turned white. Well, not all of them, like salt and pepper, when I reached the age of 35. I was called dyeing my hair for the longest time, but um after a while I just stopped. About, I think, 4 years now I stopped. It's so funny because my hair is salt and pepper on top, but the bottom is dark black.
So
Yes.
it's
So, but I guess it's in the genes because my mom is the same way.
I
I
was
don't know
gonna
if
say
that's
it may be
abnormal.
genetically.
I'm sorry.
I said it may be genetics.
Genetic, that's what I'm thinking. So, you know, but thank you so much. The things that you said earlier is very informative. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. I just
Thank
have
you,
one
Jen.
question, Akia.
Yeah.
Can gray hair be reversed?
No, it can't. And it's hard to color too. So it's almost like you bleach gray hair to a certain extent to make the color stick to it.
Oh my goodness.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
When I used to dye my hair, so it's turning salt and pepper. When I
Mm-hmm.
dye my hair black, I have to let the dye stay overnight,
And that's not good
and it's
because it
not good.
shouldn't be
That's,
over your hair for 35 minutes at the max.
yes, because if not, it doesn't do anything. So um what I did was I decided to just not do it anymore, not like go natural.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to do it overnight, and it's very bad.
Wow.
Yeah, see so when dyeing when you're dyeing gray hair, you have to use 30 to 40 developer to penetrate the hair. So a lot of times we use back box dyes, but it's not an even distribution. So the color and the peroxide is not mixed properly to give you the deposits that you need. So that's why you was able to sit there for 5, 10 hours with this dye on your hair. Was your hair dry and brittle after?
Yes. Actually, my hair now is way softer
Mm-hmm.
than before when I was, coloring my hair.
Yeah.
And it grows long, it grows faster now.
Okay. It's not over processed at this point. At that time, you was killing all your hair, over
Yes.
processing it.
Over a
Over.
good thing. Yeah, good thing my hair is very thick.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like my hair falls like crazy.
Okay.
But now it's not as much, and it's much softer now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tanya. I just want to mention something. There has been a crazy trend going all over social media about rice water turning your hair black. Is there any truth to it, or is that a myth?
I'm not for certain. I was not taught that in school. I've
Okay.
seen it as well, but I'm not 100% certain, so I don't want to say yes or no to it.
Okay. Well, that was my last question. Anyone else have any more questions? Feel free. If not, I just want to say thank you, Akeya, for joining us here at Women in Business. And on behalf of A&M Career Consulting, we wish you success in furthering your education and all of your future endeavors. And for anyone who wants to contact Akeya, please feel free to send her an email. She'll be more than happy and willing to answer any of your questions or book an appointment. Thank you,
Thank
Akeya.
you so much. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Have a good
Good
night.
night.
Very informative. We
Okay.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
night.